All right, folks, we are here for the Genesis Scottish Open. Everyone on the PGA Tour is heading overseas to get their biological rhythms correct for the Open Championship, which takes place next week. Still some big prize pools over on DraftKings and FanDuel this week. Dan has been hard at work improving the simulations to give you the best fields and graded lineups out there in PGA DFS. And actually, as honestly as it normally is, a very strong field this week for the Genesis Scottish Open. So we did the John Deere, Brian Campbell and his 110 club head speed wins at the John Deere last week. How about Ben Griffin, 38% owned, not making the cut, 3 under par, does not make the cut. Our advice, given that the final group was, what was it? It was David Lipsky finished third. Brian Campbell won. He was in a playoff against not Davis Thompson, because Davis Thompson bogeyed 17. He was in a playoff against some other jamoke. Point being, our advice to effectively randomize your lineups, leave a bunch of salary, not go super overweight on Ben Griffin. I think our advice directionally for last week was quite accurate. I wasn't keeping track of our ownership adjustments that well, but I do think it was right to flatten your exposures out a good bit.
And I think it's almost always good advice in full field golf events, in those middle and lower tiers where you often have so many options. It's just a big mistake to hammer guys that other people are hammering. It's just such a big penalty and so easy to avoid. You got 10 guys within a point of each other, and then 30% of the field has one of them. Like, yeah, that's just such an easy source of edge, is to not do that.
Yeah, like unbelievably easy. You don't even have to be a genius to do that. You don't even have to be a mathematician or a high-level guy to understand that if you have 20 options who all project within a point, it seems like a disastrous decision to be like, all right, I'm going to go with the field wants 60%, or the field wants 20% of that guy, so I'm also going to take 20% of that guy. And then the guy projected right next to him is projected for 0.7 points less, because that is, at the end of the day, that really is the big advantage in SIMS versus using an optimizer. Like, if you think about all the way from the beginning of DFS to now, why did something else need to be built on top of an optimizer? Why couldn't you just use the best projected lineup? And because it's effectively impossible to tell an optimizer, which is really just a solver, that there is a difference between guy projected for 71.1 and guy projected for 70.04, and that you should effectively treat those numbers as the same, divided by some degree of ownership. Like, you just can't tell an optimizer that at all.
Yeah.
Projections, combinations too is huge in SIMS, and if you're doing it right, it's hard to compare combinations and distributions in your head. It's impossible, actually. But the last week, so Pot Geyer was another one. He withdrew. I don't know if you.
He withdrew, but he was crushing.
We moved Ben Griffin to 39%, which was dead accurate. But then we went even a little higher and went to like 42, I think, at the end.
Yeah,
which is good, because you would have got less of them if you move the ownership up. The one that killed me, which I used all of our stuff from the show, was Michael Kim fell apart.
Yes,
Friday afternoon after having a good Thursday, and I was winning pretty solidly going into Friday afternoon. Kim killed me, and then somebody else too. Now I'm forgetting it. It was very similar to the week before from our stuff, I think, which was we were like the group right behind those rando top 3 guys. Like if the random top 3 guys win, we're kind of screwed, at least these last 2 weeks. But like the core group of guys seemed to do pretty good, except Michael Kim fell apart Friday.
Yeah, a bummer for Twitter favorite Michael Kim. All right, Brian, do we have projections uploaded and fresh on runthesims.com?
Yeah, we are gonna roll with our ownership, but Data Golf's projections for now, and then we'll update these projections.
So do I just
shortly.
do reset projections and then refresh?
Yeah, I don't know what you got going on, but it's working on our end. So you probably have to delete. No. Which one? Just there you go.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, I just had to
Actually,
do reset
Drew just sent me his. Let's just use his. Give me 1 second.
Okay. Well, I mean, we should just start right away. I mean, we should talk about ownership because regardless of what projection set you use this week, there's going to be two guys who are, what is that? I mean, 75 to 93. Is that 2 standard deviations away? Three standard deviations away from everyone else in the field. Man, I have I don't know if you guys are like this. I think this is probably a little bit I don't know if this is ADD or just a little bit of Asperger's, but I get unbelievably obsessed with things and I just cannot let it go for like weeks at a time. And my thing right now is golf YouTube.
Oh,
and I the most recent thing I watched was a round of Scottie playing at his home course with Grant Horvat, and not like obviously you understand that Scottie Scheffler is unbelievable compared to every other person on earth, but it is really something else entirely to watch him play like you would just play with your buddies, like just a round where he's chatting and he just is like very casually like shooting like 13 under par from the tips. Like obviously I'm not breaking any ground saying that Scottie is incredible, but he's sort of incredible in a way. Like, do you guys feel when you watch Rory or when you look at Rory's projections and you see the deviations in his results that Rory really has to try to play really good golf? That's kind of the way I feel. It feels like Rory, his results will be big time impacted based on how hard he's trying. Whereas I feel like Scottie, basically there, do or do not, there is no try with Scottie. Like he probably is just over in Scotland so that his sleep isn't messed up. And, I think he probably just like finishes 6th here. Trying to like work on his swing. My gut is that if this is the ownership when we refresh and everything, this is not equilibrium ownership, that Scottie should actually be much closer to 40 or 50 than to 30%, the same as Rory.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's funny watching these guys. I feel like this with most athletes. There's like, to me, what's interesting about that dimension is like the relationship to what's happening in their mind and what they're playing. Like there's some guys who are just, and I think this is most of them, just super emotionally invested in everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then there are other types that are like seemingly cool as a cucumber. And I think you can excel with both styles, but it is pretty striking. I mean, that's just what we see from the outside. Who knows what it's actually like for them moment to moment. Yeah, I do find that very interesting.
It's actually just a very cool thing. Like social media is bad, and YouTube, the platform that we're on right now, is like probably like net bad for society. But like, no one would have really had any idea what like Arnold Palmer or Jack Nicklaus or anything was like, and frankly, not even really have an idea of what Tiger is like. Like, no one really knows what Tiger is like inside his mind palace. But you can get a pretty good idea of like what Justin Thomas is like. Like you can have a parasocial relationship with Justin Thomas where like you guys would have something to talk. I mean, don't even get Bryson is like my favorite person on earth. I love that. I love that guy. Okay, let's do a refresh. We have got Drew's projections in on runthesims.com. Remind me, Brian, if someone wants access to Drew's projections, what do they do on the website?
His website's fantasygolfbag.com, so check him out there. But if they just go, you just need to do, there you go, you got it, Davis. If you just download, if someone goes to upload projections there, the drop down, and you click I think it popular, download templates, that's it. They'll be in there. The ownership will be in there too.
Okay, cool. So I would encourage you guys to do that if you don't have any other ownership stuff.
Interesting to note too. So he's got Scottie Scheffler like what it was like 5 or 6 points different.
Yeah.
Than Data Golf. It's definitely a sport where I don't know, the median of the field can vary from projection source to projection source.
Absolutely.
How they think it's going to play. It's pretty.
I would guess actually it's not how they think the course would play. I mean, I think that would impact it some. I would guess it would be done based on how every individual content projection creator handles the cut and finish points, like how they determine the probability. Like probably I would guess a lot of people who do golf projections just translate market odds for the win into points. Like, so a win is distributed or a 20th place is distributed. I would guess there's some sort of linear relationship there, and then some kind of linear relationship between cut odds, but then based on your particular sauce, as it were, you're gonna get to different numbers, which would explain why Roto-Grinders, Data Golf, Drew, why they would all have different, even if they were ordered the same way. So like, let's say we pulled up Data Golf and Scottie, Rory, Xander, Tommy, and Colin were all ordered the same way in terms of total projected points. They might be a different number, right? That would be my guess.
So I do try to account for this in the back end and normalize these things so that the distributions will look similar, even if you're using different projection sources, just so people know. But if you push it super, super hard, you will start to break things. Like if your whole scale is wildly off in certain ways, I mean, garbage in, garbage out.
Yeah.
But this is close enough. What's interesting to me here is that there's a much steeper drop off here between Scottie and Rory than in some other ones. Let me take a look at that actually.
Yeah, that is big.
That's a big drop off. So like, I'm just looking at some.
Well, so just for example, Data Golf has Scottie for 93 and Rory for 82. So it's not really that big of it's a different number, but it's not that big of a drop off.
11 and 15. Speaking.
I've got I see an 11, 11, a 15, this 15, and then also the last one I see is what?
I would guess without even
see
looking.
One other one that's in this range of drop off, and then the others are more like 10, 11.
Okay, so we might want to bump them a point or two.
Maybe we'll see what happens.
Okay,
I think we should.
I kind of like when Rory's playing in England/Ireland.
Oh, see, I literally feel the exact opposite. I feel like Rory is he's such a chucker. He's such an emotional guy. I feel like it weighs so heavily on him to play over there. Although I did just look up his course history here. My gut instinct was that he probably plays quite bad here. Is this the most Rory-ass course history you could find? DNP cut, DNP win, T4. I mean, that is so Rory McIlroy. To be DNP cut, DNP, and then win. I mean, that is just that's so funny.
And so what do we have, a T4 last year?
Yeah, T4.
So win T4. Wow. Okay.
So I think your gut is right. I think let's move him up to 74.
Okay.
All right, let's sort by ownership actually, and just see if there's anything
I've got
that really leaks out.
I have my ownership poll data file up if you need me to look anything up.
So Scottie, my guess, you guys tell me, I thought he's going to be, even in this field, going to be lower than our normal high 30s, low 40s, because it's just too hard to get there with 13,000 this week. And so,
I mean, I have not built a ton of lineups yet, so let's see. Not a ton of like super cheapies. It would be different. You know what is if there's a Euro guy that people really like who's real cheap, like this guy, Laurie Cantor, 3.5%. That is too low. Because what you're gonna want is you want Hao Tong Lee. Man, if like Matt Wallace or something was playing well, Here we go. So see, someone's already hip to Sean Norris at 6,400. Like that is when you get to the Scottish Open and the British Open, people love Matt Wallace is 7,300, not 6,400. So Brian, I think you're right. I think your gut there is probably correct. That this actually maybe is more.
So how does this compare then?
Oh, I got you. So I took 4 sources, not counting Run the Sims. These are others. So my consensus of 4 is 27.5.
Wow. Okay. So yeah, we should go even lower.
Okay. Let's do.
But it's pretty wide distribution. Like, yeah, it's pretty wide. It's not.
I think that this looks good. Let's just leave it, and then we'll play around later.
All right.
What else we got? What's another big?
Well, I mean, the biggest one is last year's Scottish Open champion, second place the year before. He is Scottish, and he absolutely smashes this golf course. True strokes gained on this golf course, 1.6 strokes gained per round versus his expectation. He's about a stroke and a half better at this particular golf course. When you look up how do you get a 37% owned guy, this is what it is.
Dude, I was gonna say, bump this up.
Yeah.
What is it?
It's 26. He will be the most owned golfer in the pool.
Yeah, let's just guess. What do you guess? I'm say 35.
I was gonna say 33.
Okay, let's do 33.
This is another one where the 4 different sources have wildly different numbers.
I would air high.
11, 15, 18, and 29.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Yeah. We'll be
all over the place.
He will be. So Robert McIntyre, not only is he awesome at this golf course, not only is he Scottish, not only does everyone know that, he just in general is a favorite of the PGA DFS community. He's like, he is, he just fits the profile, right? He's one of those guys who gains a billion strokes tee to green. He's like Scottish Siwoo Kim, but probably better, honestly, than Siwoo.
Yeah, maybe 33 is a little high, but whatever.
He's pretty good value.
I don't know, because the projections are gonna like him. Look at these freaking results, dude. I mean, he's just like killing it right now too. Mm-hmm. Second at the U.S. Open.
Yeah, he's playing good.
Yeah, didn't make the cut at the Masters. That's interesting.
Didn't he grow up on this course or something?
We're definitely gonna find out if that's true. Watching the broadcast this week. Yeah. Well, I didn't know he was a Ryder Cupper. So shout out to him. I'm gonna stand firm on this one.
Okay.
Whatever it is, he is gonna be the most owned guy. Yeah, almost has to be.
Right.
All right. Next up, we have Tommy Fleetwood. I mean, my gut here is that
you want to normalize really quick, and then so we can see what updates everybody else.
Yes. Moves Tommy to 20%. My gut is that feels like a little, just a smidgen high. I wonder what his course is. Well, okay.
The DFS allure of Tommy Fleetwood with the DFS bros is kind of not as what it used to be. It's still there.
Because he literally never wins.
Yeah. They still like him, though.
Second, 26, fourth, 6th, 34th, 20 measured rounds at this golf course, plus 174 strokes gained per round. So I think that feels about right.
It's right it's almost exactly what my average number is too.
Yeah. Man, this is hard for me because the next guy, this has got to be the worst play on the board. My boy, University of Oklahoma's own Chris Gotterup, 7,100, projected for 54.5 points by our friends over the Fantasy Golf Bag. 15% projected ownership. There's no chance this is good. Absolutely none.
What is it then?
I think the ownership might be right, but the like I'm saying that when we run the Sims, like we should not be getting any of this guy. He I mean, don't get me wrong, like he is playing well, but
interestingly, on at least one site he is the number one value. Points per dollar.
Yeah, he just should not be, in my opinion.
Let's see.
I agree. I agree with Sherlock. With all the cheap Euros available, like just all the random guys, he really like this is very inside baseball. I mean, this is why I'm on this show. But like these guys who grew up playing in the American South, who then go play these link style courses, like it is a bad fit. Bad course fit for Chris Gotterup. Like I'm much more likely to play Matt Wallace. I'm much more likely to play Rasmus Niergaard Peterson, Nikolai Hogard, Thomas Dietrich, a guy I've literally never heard of before, Marco Peng. That's my take. So I don't want to adjust his projection or his ownership yet because I just want to see what we get when we.
Well, do you want to rip a?
Yeah. Let's go to the lineup factory.
Look at the settings first because you probably.
Oh yeah, one unique per lineup.
Let it run now.
Yeah.
Did you do it? I think you did click it.
Yeah, I did.
Results tab.
Just running
about a little over 30 seconds this morning.
Pretty good. Pretty speedy sims. It's so funny, Dan. People have no idea how revolutionary this thing you built is. They're just like, oh yeah, no, totally. It's the same as any other site. I just do my little clicks and then I run it, and they don't realize that you are lovingly handcrafting each field by hand.
Well, I have my bicycle hooked up to the machine. I have to pedal it really fast if the load gets too high. So.
Yeah.
Why is Scottie Scheffler at 98% of the lineups?
Because he's projected for 1 billion points.
I mean, if this is the case, then we're wrong on ownership. I mean, we're gonna.
Well, let's see course. Look, we're getting all we're getting is shitters other than him. So we got 98% actual Scottie, guy I've never heard of, guy I've barely heard of. Guy I've never heard of, Elvis Smiley, Simon Forstrom, Adrian Otegui. I do know he's about 47 years old. Remember we were talking about Dylan Fratelli the other week? We were like, does that guy even exist? Does he even play anymore? Dylan Nadu, Jacques Kreuzwick, Riggs Johnston, Guido Migliozzi, Yuto Katsuragawa. Which is exactly what you'd expect. If you're going to get 98% of Scottie, you're going to be overweight every shitter.
And this is a cut event, right?
Correct. Yes.
I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm going to see.
He screwed me last week, by the way. I see his name popping up there.
I'm going to run a little experiment in the background. I have an idea.
So, all right, let's run.
I don't know. I don't like this. Can we don't do that?
Too late. Already clicked it. What do you want me to do? What do you not like about it?
Go to the settings and make sure everything looks
okay. You think something is wrong with my settings?
I don't know. Because it saves from whatever you did last.
Yes. I'm gonna.
You probably didn't do anything, but yeah.
What the computer is seeing is they're saying Scottie is projected for 1 billion points.
We didn't talk about the weather. That's right. Isn't it supposed to be weather?
Yeah, there's actually a significant weather adjustment for this one. It's like a 1.5 DraftKings points, which doesn't seem like a lot, but when you have a lot of choices, like the more choices you have, the more significant projection adjustment is, because just think of the reverse. You got 2-game football slate. Like you hardly even care about the points. It's just strictly about the combos, right? But if you had an infinite number of choices, like you would also always be taking something very close to the optimal, because you can without paying an ownership penalty. So yeah, the weather's going to matter for sure here. That's my long and short of it.
And what do we want? What side of the?
Let me look at
Thursday.
I think you want here. I can pull up.
Well, it says on Data Golf.
The predicted Thursday morning wave week-long disadvantage is negative 1.64 points. So you want people who are playing Thursday afternoon, Friday morning.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. and Rory, Tommy, Xander, Victor. Where's Scheffler at?
Scheffler is in the bad wave.
Okay.
Scheffler tees off at
Not liking
8:28
this.
a.m. Yeah. All right. Here's my Galaxy brain. This might not even be Galaxy brain. This is actually probably this is right side of the Jedi meme, which is any sort of confluent thing that gets the field to talk themselves into not playing Scottie, I want to take advantage of. Like, I don't care if he's in the bad wave. I don't care if he's giving up 0.38 of a stroke to Rory or whatever. He very well might be playing in the worst weather, and he might very well make a bogey on a hole that he would have birdied, otherwise. But it just feels, first off, I mean, that should to some degree be accounted for in the projections, right? Getting the bad draw. So I think that what this sim is gathering is actually correct.
Yeah, it's saying people aren't playing Scottie enough. I mean,
yeah.
Is he literally in every lineup at the top? 1, 2.
Yes.
Then everything happened to 5,000.
Yeah. Highest
2,000, whatever he made.
Brian's boy Lee Hodges, Mav McNeely, Taylor Moore, Rasmus Niergaard Peterson, Scottie Scheffler, and Sam Stevens. That lineup is far too patriotic. Way too many American flags in that lineup. You need Spaniards. You need like one Irish guy. I'm not loving this.
Yeah, I don't like it. I think we should also move Scottie Scheffler's ownership back up.
Okay, let's go back. Let's move Scottie to 35.
Okay.
Normalize. We need to move based on
Do you
that.
Want to bump up any of the late Thursday afternoon guys?
Here, let me
tell you who they are.
Yeah,
I've got it sorted by tee time right now. So I think the sort of guys that we need to bump up are almost sort of random. So we need to bump up guys like Francesco Laporta, who is like a neutral value, but he's a Euro. He plays in the right wave. And that is like, okay, well, if my brain makes that association that he's a Euro who plays in the right wave, 3% is probably not right for him. He's probably closer to like 4.5, right? Because I really mean this, and I think this actually makes sense in like a ball knowing way, which is like you actually should. We see it every year at the Open Championship, which is these guys who have grown up their whole lives playing in this weather and these golf courses do just play better. Like, and I don't know how do you adjust for that in a projection? If you're a projection provider, like, do you add, if you were born somewhere other than the United States of America or South America, you get a 2% boost or whatever. But I do think that is like a legit way to do this because all of, Sam Burns's measured rounds are not at golf courses. Like everything, every single golf swing that Sam Burns has made is like for a different type of golf than is getting played. So I don't know how you adjust for that if you're a projections person.
Yeah, it sounds tricky. I wanted to get back to the weather thing because you said something.
Yes, go for it.
Sharp, I think, should be emphasized. So when you're looking at these weather wave people, just to add to what you said, the closer a golfer is to being right on the cusp of making the cut, the more you care about these little adjustments.
Yes.
Because whether Scottie is up or down an extra stroke, unlikely to matter as much as, oh shit, this guy right in the middle made the cut that he wouldn't have, or didn't make the cut he would have because of that extra penalty. Like that's a much bigger swing in a DFS lineup. So I do think it's good to pay more attention to the weather factor and those sort of cuspy guys like that. Yeah.
I want to try one more thing before we make adjustments. What about could you do the settings, make like just do the 5,000 lineups and do lineup factory large. And then I want to see the
what else? Randomness, salary range, max.
That won't matter for that one.
For lineup factory, it doesn't matter yet.
For generate line, for the optimizer, it does. Yeah. I want to see who the guys is. It just going to be Scottie with a bunch of guys in the second wave, cheap guys in the second wave?
It would depend on how much the projections are updated for the waves.
Well,
which
yeah, I mean, because we didn't really look at that in those first ones. So if it's a bunch of guys in the second wave, maybe it's actually not the end of the world. And now we bump Scottie's ownership up too. So let's see what that does.
Yeah, that is interesting. I like that was like what a 7% adjustment in.
I mean,
ownership.
if Scottie comes in at like 29% and he makes the cut through the bad weather, and then you get all the weather bump guys, and as the other, okay, so who we got? Name those names.
Scottie still at 98.
Okay,
still Adam Scott, still David Rivetto, still Todd Clements. Although instead of having like 8% of these guys, they're now bumped up to 20%, 15%. There's a bunch.
Adam Scott's also in that first. Don't like it. So who's the other guy here?
David Rivetto.
Who the hell is that?
Never heard of this guy. Let's do some research. Who is David Rivetto? He is the 348th data golf ranked player in the world, a one-time winner on the DP World Tour.
He's in the morning wave too.
Yeah, don't like that.
No,
I don't like that.
Don't like it at all.
Why are we getting so much of this dude?
No,
I bet he just projects well. Let's go back. David Rivetto. Oh, so it's because he's 6,100.
Okay, bump him down.
Oh, look, he's projected for 0 own.
Oh, that would be the answer.
So let's put him at 2. Let's put him at 2, and let's put him at 33 points.
David Rivetto.
Well, Data Golf has him for 0 as well.
Yeah.
Let's put him at 1.
Yeah.
Let's put him at 1.
Maybe he's just over projected in this set.
And then who was the other guy?
Todd Clements.
Also, it could be one of these things where
he's in the afternoon at least.
Another possibility is it still thinks Scottie is so much better than the ownership.
Yeah,
just like give him to me and put some rando cheap.
Put some random in.
Now,
Todd Clements.
Give him point something ownership. He's 0 too.
Todd Clements,
what do we have him at?
This guy seems okay.
Clements.
Is that your guy?
I mean, he's like a little bit worse than an average American golfer, but like
at the local public course here?
No, like he's like a little bit worse than like Max Grazerman.
Yeah. So looking at Clements and Rivetto,
he's another 0 own.
Yeah.
So let's move him. I'm gonna adjust his projection down and his ownership.
Yeah, leave his projection. I wouldn't change projection on guys. He's in the afternoon.
Yeah, so these guys all down here are at best meh value and actually a little bit bad is what's popping up, which is so I think that just makes me think again that it's just like, well, I got to get some more Scottie combos, and the only way to do that is to do some bottom fishing.
The only way to do that is to jam. And see, the thing is it's not even jamming guys who are good. It's just jamming guys who are just flat cheap.
Yeah. Cheap and not as bad as some of the other ones around.
I think you forgot one guy though. Go back to the results, Davis.
It's Adam Scott.
Well, hold on. Rivetto. Okay, yeah. And then I need to look Fitzpatrick, Morikawa. What's that guy's name? Coccarelli? What the hell? Aaron
Cockerell. He's actually a real player. I've heard of him before. He's okay.
Fitzpatrick is in the afternoon. Morikawa is in the morning. Who'd you rather have, Morikawa or Hovland in the afternoon?
Hovland. Morikawa is a tilter right now. That's all he exists to do is to tilt.
Jeez.
Coccarelli's also in the morning.
Okay. So we should adjust his Really, what we should do is we should just
Okay.
give him a little bit of ownership. That
Bobby Mack too. He's in the morning. We should drop his ownership. That's probably why we're so high. We're higher than everyone else.
All right, we'll move him back to 30. Let's move Adam Scott to 13 because he was popping in. People love to play Adam Scott.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's a no
Right?
ball pick. We'll take it.
Am I wrong about this? People just love to play Adam Scott.
Yeah. Yeah. He's still pretty good, man.
He's pretty good.
Yeah.
All right, let's run it.
All right. Do I need to normalize? There we go. Normalize one more time. Settings, 5,000 lineups, generate large. Bang. I think I took Adam Scott as my one and done this week. No winners for me this year. Literally not one. Bunch of seconds. Tough. Use Scottie on a tournament he didn't win. That's always bad. Using Scottie on one he doesn't win. You do not want that.
It's just so gross. Looking at one projection source, it's implying his average finish on this tournament is like 6.5 or 7. Like that's just that's crazy.
Does he ever honestly? How many times has he finished worse than third in the last calendar year?
Ugh. We're getting a lot of Scott, a lot of Scheffler. We gotta adjust Coccarelli.
He has more wins than finishes outside the top 10 in the last year. It's pretty good. All right, so we're still getting a ton of Scott. We're still getting Clements. We're still getting Cockerell.
We also got Burns and Justin Thomas, who are morning wave guys.
Who's Lowry Cantor?
Lowry Cantor is, I believe he's Scottish. I mean, he definitely is a Euro. He's not Scottish, but he is official world golf number 69, DP World Tour third. He's got a couple wins. He's got a T2, 25 at the Open Championship last year, won the European Open last year. So I think this is the type of guy I'm fine being overweight the field on, just from a quick glance, although it does not look like he drives the ball particularly well. I like this top lineup. Hao Tong Lee, big fan. Laurie Cantor, Matt McNeely, Taylor Moore, Scottie Scheffler, and U.S. Open champion JJ Spawn.
I don't hate it. Our EVs are getting more realistic too, by the way, the more of these changes we make.
Yes, as you would expect.
So what? We got to move. You want to just adjust Scott, Coccarelli, Burns and Thomas.
Scott, let's move to 61.
Coccarelli.
Let's move to 35.
Sam Burns.
Burns will move to 60. Who else?
Yeah.
What wave does, because he was, what wave
Burns
does
is in the morning.
Yeah,
Burns is in the morning.
Confirmed.
Thomas is in the morning. JT.
We want to move him up or no, we want to move him down.
Like 61, whatever, just like a point.
60.5. All right, who else? Let's see if there's any other big names playing in the morning.
We could bump up the afternoon guys like Hovland, McIlroy.
We should. We should bump up. We should.
Your boy Luke Clanton.
So in terms of heavy hitters, so Rory, Xander, Tommy, and Hovland are all afternoon.
Okay. Some minor adjustments there. I'm trying to see who else.
Is this an Alex Noren week?
I don't even know if he's playing.
He is.
Okay. I'm trying to see if this guy Elvis Smiley is a real player. Because if one of these guys is a real player, but it's just not quite getting captured by the projections, that is important to know. Elvis, he might be closer to a real player, actually.
Yeah, down in that range, it's more like how
He's
but he's in the morning.
Yeah, he's in the morning also.
okay. So he actually should be nuked. So that's actually a great example of a guy that to Dan's earlier point, a guy who is on the, like, his cut probability is low, much lower than Scottie's. So Scottie is going to make the cut. Like, he's like 90% to make the cut, right? That stroke that he loses on Thursday afternoon ain't going to matter on Sunday. But that stroke that Elvis Smiley is going to lose versus the field, that is a huge, huge stroke, because it could determine, because it's a binary thing. Do you get points on the weekend? Do you not get points on the weekend? All right, let's run. Let's normalize, and let's do another.
Before you click that, you clicked it, didn't matter. All the guys at the bottom who are getting 0% ownership and on a Scottie Scheffler week, I wonder if that is driving this.
That is exactly what's driving it. It's the computer is saying the a priori thing is getting Scottie in, and then figure it out after that.
Dan, let me is the field generating, it's iterating through all these fake fields. Would it ever get these guys in there unless they have 0.1 ownership?
No, if it so if you give it 0% ownership, it might get some tiny epsilon of ownership, but it'll be very close to zero.
Okay,
it's going to keep pushing. It's going to keep pushing. What's going to happen in the algorithm? It's going to say, "Okay, generate a lineup. You gave me 0% for Adrian Sadier, and I got one." And it's going to be like, "Okay, next time I'm going to push this projection down." And so, in the very early stages of the sim, it might have a very small number, but it's effectively going to go as a percentage very close to zero is the answer. So there'll be potentially some tiny epsilon in the field, but it's going to be very, very small.
So would it be wise to change some of these guys who are getting a lot up to 0.1 at least?
Yeah, I would say if you think a guy's going to be played at all, I might just put in 1 and see what it does.
Okay. Well, if you look, our EVs are starting to get pretty tight.
Yeah,
I'm liking the distribution of players a lot more.
Yeah. Clements. All right, we gotta do something about this Clements guy, because you're not wanting.
We don't want that much Clements, do we?
No. Let's move him down to 37.
Whoa, that's a big drop. You just went from 40 to 37.
He is just not a real golf player. Like, you want to have some of him, but you want to have a little bit of him. I think that
the dynamic here is that at his salary, which is 6,200, he is the least bad player at 6,200.
Yeah.
And then the next least bad player
is Dylan Nadu.
Or I also see this guy, Yuto Katsuragawa, some Japanese golfer. I don't know. But there isn't anything at that specific price point.
Yes.
It sucks less than he does, is what the dynamic is.
Nadu's in the afternoon. So is Clements.
Yeah. Yeah.
In fact, I'd be curious to see what the salaries are for lineups with that guy. If they're close or actually at full. That would be.
Where did the normalize button go? Am I blind?
That's an excellent question.
I don't know, but before you do it anyways, can you do the ownership? Like, look at guys who are 0, and maybe some of them might want to go to 1. Are we getting any of these guys?
We're not getting any of these guys. Well, we're getting a little bit of a Tegui. We're getting a little bit of. See, these are guys I'm more interested in playing because I know some of these guys. We got a little bit of Fratelli. We got a little bit of this guy, Simon Forstrom. Why is Luke Donald playing this event?
He's still playing.
Yeah. Richie Ramsey. Okay, there we go. So those are all the 0 guys.
Okay.
Let's do a normalize. Let's do one more little lineup factory. I'm very curious the just like the rules for how you get into the Scottish Open, because some of these guys, I'm like, how did the 489th player in the world qualify for this? I guess probably you win Monday qualifiers for the DP World Tour the same way you do for the PGA Tour.
I have to look it up every time. I can never remember the rules for all of these things.
It's very complex. Well, these guys should all just sign up for the Live. No qualification, you just show up. All right, we now have only 5 shitters above 10% of our teams, and they're all at 11%. Dylan Nadu, Adrian Otegui, Simon Forstrom, Dylan Fratelli, Riggs Johnson, and Yuto Katsuragawa.
Yeah.
None of them featuring in the top lineups, by the way. So the top lineups filtered by expected value now are shitterless.
Mm-hmm.
Although I think Alex Fitzpatrick is Matt Fitzpatrick's little brother, and I think he's terrible.
Oh, dear.
240th in the world. I do think they are brothers. He actually is not, and he's not as bad as I thought. I should give him more credit.
There's that Simon Forstrom guy, and then what's that Adrian
Otegui? He again is also like kind of a real player, or has been. He's been up to 96th in the world in data golf ranking. So I guess 7 straight miscuts for him though. So you're not loving that.
Okay, and then what is he in the morning or afternoon? Let me look, Adrian. He's in the afternoon at least.
All right. I mean, look, he's got the good.
Might want to go down on him. And then what about Riggs Johnston?
Oh God. So he sounds, I'm gonna guess that he is Welsh because he doesn't have a vowel in his name. No, bad beat, dude. He's American. He's American, oh wow, 2 wins. Oh, so he was playing on the Challenger Tour or the PGA Tour Americas, the Elk Rig. Do you think I'd make the cut at the Elk Ridge Saskatchewan Open?
No,
I don't think I would, but I think I could hang.
We might know some people who would. We might know a few people.
I was gonna say there like Peter Jennings make the cut at the Elk Rig Saskatchewan Open? I think I'd bet on Pete to make the cut there. That's you know what? That's probably how he qualified. You probably get if you qualify out of the DP World Tour qualifying stage, you probably get to play this event.
This is the Riggs guy.
Yes,
and he's in the morning too. Because let's bump him down.
Yes,
we probably should bump down.
That is
who
just
was the other guy we were looking at,
name.
Adrian.
All right, this is what I'm gonna do. Every guy who's 0% who we've gotten any of, I'm gonna give him 2%. Guido, I'm gonna give him 2. Jacques Kreuzwick, I'm gonna give him 2. I'm going to give Nacho Elvira is a crazy name.
That's awesome.
Oh yeah, he's been around forever.
I mean, this is nuts stuff. All these guys.
Yeah.
Because it really
Scottie.
I was going to say, let's do one run. Let's do one run like this.
Yeah, just bump him to like 50% or something.
Yeah. Let's do one run. Because I think it's going to give us much more normal results if we do this. That's my guess. Yeah. This is, I think, better approximating a real way to build. Even if, like, Dan, tell me your thoughts on this. Even if this is not accurate to the field, the quickest solve to get from point A to point B with the computer is to tell him Scottie's going to be way more owned than he even is, because you just don't want to go through and edit every 419th best player in the world projection.
Sure, it's perfectly reasonable. There's a lot of ways to do that. You can lower his projection, you raise his ownership.
Yeah, I guess we could do that.
What you're doing is you're sort of mentally segmenting. You're saying, I want to look at 2 scenarios. I want to look at,
Oh so my God.
No, it's still jamming him in there.
But Why is he not in the top lineups there though? If he's not in the
Because we
top two
changed
lineups,
because we
that's crazy.
changed the ownership.
I know, but he's in 98% of 5,000 lineups, but not in the top 2.
Actually, you know what? Maybe we should. Can we delete all of our builds and run it again? I just want to make sure it's really showing us the right thing.
Oh, it is because everything else switches out of the everything else.
Okay.
But whatever, you could go ahead and delete that because I wanted to say something anyways about assuming the display is displaying accurate. This is a perfect example of how to use SIMS where there's cases like when Dan was talking about the cut mattering more with a 1.5 change in weather. Because it could drastically change the player. So sometimes a small change in projections will give you a whole bunch less of some guy, or a small change in ownership will give you a whole bunch less some guy. And then when we change this dramatically, and we're still getting a ton of Scottie Scheffler, that means if you're believing in your Sims or whatever you're using, you got to play Scottie Scheffler.
Oh, no, there's something much simpler going on. Can you go back? I think
but I broke our website.
Oh no, I just realized something. So there's 2 pools being created in the sim. One is the pool that we're playing against, and one is our 5,000 candidates. Our 5,000 candidates are not affected by ownership at all. So it makes sense that we would see no change. All we did was change his ownership. It will change the EVs. So this table on the right is, as I recall, is it still showing like ownership against all candidate lineups here? Yeah, including the ones that don't have good EV. So
yes.
So yeah, that percentage number will not change if you don't change the projection.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, no,
So
not really, right?
No. I see exactly what Dan is saying.
The pool of lineups that it's evaluating doesn't
Yes.
look at ownership at all.
Mm-hmm.
Only the lineups in the field.
Okay, so easiest solve for this.
If you want to consider many more lineups that don't include Scottie, just put his projection way down.
Easiest that I moved Scottie to 83. That is gonna give us results closer to what we are trying to.
Or we can just use the optimizer and X them out. That would be another option.
Can't X them out.
No, just for the purpose of maximizing the number of non-Scottie lineups we want to play.
Sure. To evaluate.
Yeah, it won't affect the field.
How much did you lower his projections from 87 to 83, you said, I think?
Yes.
Yeah, that should make a pretty big difference. I would
imagine.
You'd think so. Imagine if it doesn't.
I can believe that too.
But back to that 98% number, Dan.
Yeah.
It is all 50,000 lineups. That number is showing all 50,000 lineups. So it's still like, look at this 87%. There's nothing you can do. Scottie Scheffler is a good play this week. But
God, it is just beating you over the head. It's saying, we have given you the key to generational wealth. Why are you refusing me?
No, it doesn't mean that he's in a winning lineup 87% of the time.
At least this time it's given us like reasonable players.
No longer in the highest expected value lineup.
It's not the top 150 that you would be putting in your lineup. That's not that number. We're adding that number, but
and my pool generation thing is not perfect. Like I try to get a diversity of things in that lineup generator, but it ain't perfect. So if you don't like something about it, you should just tweak the I would actually use the optimizer for that. The reason is like you want realistic fields that get realistic results, but you don't want a particular golfer. I would probably use the optimizer and X guys out.
Or cap it.
Or cap it, yeah, exactly. That's probably how I would do this. Because you're still gonna get more realistic fields. That's probably what I would do. It could be that this week breaks my lineup factory pool a little bit in that just the way it works and Scottie being so high projected, it's just getting to him a ton.
Yeah.
But the thing we really care about is the EV numbers. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's evaluate some of these lineups because I'm going to get out of here in a moment. Top lineup is Rasmus Højgaard, Victor Hovland, Xander Schauffele, Adam Scott, Alex Smalley, Kevin Yu. I'll tell you, ain't no way am I playing that money, that lineup with my own money. No chance are Kevin Yu and Alex Smalley showing up there for me. This one looks a lot better. Laurie Cantor, Harry Hall, Taylor Moore, Xander Schauffele, Adam Scott, Justin Thomas has your well, actually, I mean, it's got two Euros, and then it's got a colony occupant in Adam Scott. I like that one. Let's see. Can I search for the top Scottie EV lineup with this change projection? This just looks like a much better Scottie lineup to me. All these look better to me. Cantor, Rio, I never know how to. Hisasune? It's like a silent T, probably. Mav McNeely, Scottie Scheffler, JJ Spawn, Kevin Yu. Like what is the function? Why does this look so much better than the other ones? Because all we did was alter Scottie's projection. We didn't nuke all the other guys' projections.
Well, I mean, I don't know. It could be a little bit of luck, but basically we're saying if Scottie kind of is not as good as everybody thinks he is, what are the lineups that are worth a lot? I don't know. I'm not sure.
It's just interesting. The mystery of the computer, man. You can't get inside the mind. All right, let's see. I'm gonna go enter one of these lineups in.
Yeah.
All right. This is the lineup.
Put Scottie back to our best guess too and save it. And then
yes, this is the lineup I'm gonna play.
I kind of like Jordan L. Smith too. Like it feels like a week where it's like, oh, I forgot. Yeah, that Jordan L. Smith.
I forgot that Jordan L. Smith guy. He did really good. He had a good finish at a British Open, which I know you're not supposed to say. Perfect symmetry for Jordan L. Smith, 89th in Data Golf and 89th in official world golf rankings and 9th in the DP World Tour rankings.
Wow.
Coming off a solo second.
Wow.
Made the cut at the US Open. His best Open championship. Wow, T9 at the PGA in 2017.
Is this our Run the Sims guarantee of the week?
I think this is the Run the Sims guarantee of the week. Run the Sims guarantee of the week. Jordan Smith at some point is going to be on the broadcast, and you're going to go, of course, it was always Jordan L. Smith and Francesco Laporta. I mean, nothing has ever been more obvious than it being Jordan L. Smith and Francesco Laporta. So I'm playing this.
How many points of ownership bump is Laporta getting just for being Sam Laporta's same last name?
Sam Laporta's Italian cousin.
It's at least one.
It's at least one because there's no way Stevel D is the first person to have that association. It's pretty high. That lineup, Laporta, Taylor Moore, Scottie Scheffler, Jordan Smith, JJ Spawn, Sam Stevens. That's your gold star lock of the week here from Run the Sims. We got boys, 58 days, 59 days to the start of the National Football League season. So time to start thinking about getting yourself set up over at runthesims.com for NFL. Dan is continually tweaking and improving the process for the simulations on golf. We've got Uta's MLB stuff, Uta MLB for 10% off the MLB projections, Davis, code Davis for 10% off the PGA Sims. And there should be a new thing coming for like super users of Run the Sims relatively soon. Is that it? Did I miss anything?
I don't think so.
Okay. All right, everyone.
It's an early slate. Be careful. Get your lineup.
Yes.
It's a weird start time.
Do your lineups right now. Do what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do my lineups right now. Go do your lineups right now because it's gonna be 8:00 and you're gonna be like, all right, I'm done with dinner. I'm ready to relax. And you'll be like, shit. I gotta do PGA. It's due in 4 hours. I gotta do it. So just do it right now. All right, everyone. We will see you back same time, same place. Actually, we won't. I'm at the lake next week, so I will make the thumbnail, but you guys will be in charge of delivering the content And I made a thumbnail for Adam, by the way, and I told him step by step how to make it look really good. And I went to go check his thumbnail, and he just immediately disregarded what I said and made it look terrible. So it did make me think. I'm like, wow, they're the brains, how the brains of all the end game guys work, and then how my brain works. It's so different, and it's just very, very. Everyone has their own unique skill sets out there in the world. All right, folks, watch Adam's show this afternoon. We'll be back with you next week.